Yes, Ms. Becerra.
Thank you. Ryan Becerra, Barkowitz, Chronic, and Shanahan for, among other agencies, San Juan Water District, City of Folsom, and City of Roseville, all of whom source of water is Folsom Reservoir. And I really appreciate Mr. Fiorini's explanation of that example because it demonstrates why agencies like that are so concerned about everything with this having to do with the Delta. San Juan has a water right that dates to 1854, I think. City of Folsom has a similar water right that dates to, I think, 1856. All of those were contained in settlement contracts that were necessary in order for the Bureau of Reclamation to build Folsom Dam and Reservoir. And then when Folsom went to what was then the State Water Rights Board to obtain the water right permits for Folsom Dam and Reservoir, the Water Rights Board inserted a term in there, Term 14, that requires that Reclamation prioritize deliveries under CBP contracts within Sacramento, Placer, and San Joaquin counties. So the agencies in that area have quite a superstructure of legal rights that protect their ability to get water out of the American River to serve their local needs, and specifically out of Folsom Reservoir. The problem with that is none of that makes any difference physically if, when Jones Tract levee breaks, Reclamation releases an extremely large amount of water out of Folsom Reservoir, where you get to September and October and the water level's below the intakes. And in 2004, there was kind of a freak rainstorm that prevented that from happening. But that's a scenario that's possible this year. Before it started raining in March, they were projecting that water levels in Folsom Reservoir could get below the intakes for San Juan, Folsom, and Roseville, and it's still not much of a margin of safety. And so when you have this possibility that it really doesn't matter what rights you have, what contracts you have, how much planning you've done to satisfy your local needs out of your local water source, if the Delta needs it, it's going out to the Delta, and maybe we'll bring in barges and float them on Folsom Reservoir so that you can pump water up to the intake. It's a real problem. And it's not something that we've thought of as a possibility. It's not something we're projected that we're scared of. These kind of things are real possibilities in the operation of some of these projects. And that is a reason why agencies in the watershed are so concerned about all these Delta things and things like WRR5 and a lot of these recommendations. Is what we see is no matter how hard we try to get contracts and water right permit terms and all these things that are supposed to provide the level of planning we need, the physical reality can be different and can be a very serious problem for serving large amounts of people. So I appreciate the example. It's very illustrative that sort of indicates why we get so concerned about these things. Thank you.